So JD Vance is having a really, really tough week, y'all. He is struggling out there. Trump keeps saying absolutely insane and ludicrous things, and then his job is to be the cleanup committee. He comes out afterwards and tries to, put some logic on Trump's unhinged ramblings, and he's doing his best at it, but of course he's humiliating himself in the process, and he knows that these arguments are not landing, and he also knows that him and Trump are slipping in the polls day by day as we speak. Okay, so you're going to know he's struggling mentally here because he did the classic, high schooler, rookie to the internet type mistake. He's getting in fights on social media. Bro, this is like social media 101 type shit. You don't read the replies. You don't get into fights on the timeline. This is basic. This is a lesson that everybody who's been in this space for an extended period, everybody learns it. Everybody learns it. Why are you going to give yourself strife? Why are you going to lose your fucking mind responding to people? But this is what he's doing. He's coming unglued, y'all. He's coming unglued. So let's start with this. He comes out and says this. If you were to ask what caused me to change my tune about President Trump from 2016 to 2020, I could give you a few reasons. But what we're seeing in Springfield really drives it home. Housing costs skyrocketing, communicable diseases on the rise, car accidents, crime, blah, blah, blah. He's trying to give 48 reasons why don't immigrants suck, bro? Immigrants fucking suck, bro. But I love the communicable diseases on the rise part. Didn't the right just define themselves for the past few years as believing COVID is a hoax and believing anti-vaccine conspiracy theories and saying it was blown out of proportion and it wasn't actually even that deadly? And now all of a sudden, in the context of discussing immigrants, they're spreading disease. Communicable diseases on the rise. Okay, so Zed Jelani responds to JD Vance and said, Springfield was declining for years until they saw an increase in jobs and growth driven by people moving in. That means more wealth, healthier budgets, etc. And there are no upsides to immigration in your view? What about Usha's parents? Should they have stayed in India? This is him bringing up JD Vance's Indian American wife, saying, hey, now you're all Mr. I'm not tough on immigration. I hate immigration. It's like, okay, dude, your wife's parents were immigrants. Should they have not come here? Should they have not come here? Totally legitimate question from Zed Jelani. JD Vance responds, get this, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this response. Look at this. He wrote him a fucking essay. He goes, dude, I've always liked you, so maybe this should be a longer conversation, but come on. Good argument, JD. Good argument. Come on, bro. Bringing up reasonable counterpoints to my bullshit. What's wrong with you? Are there no upsides to immigration is a radically different question from should we drop 20,000 people from a radically different culture in a small Ohio town in a matter of a few years? I'm going to give you facts on all this stuff in just a second, so bear with me here. First of all, remember that I've been on this issue for months, well before it became viral. You have actual leftists who will say, look, housing prices have gone up. It's great for the local residents. What about the people who don't own homes? Blah, 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 blah. Look at the number of Medicaid recipients who are newcomers. Do you not think that stresses the local hospital system? I have constituents who say they've lost their, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, this is him saying, bro, look at all the fucking horrible downsides of having immigration. Do you see this? Do you see all the horrible downsides of it? What do you have to say about the horrible downsides of it? What he's doing is omitting all of the upsides and all of the ironclad facts that prove the upsides are actually unfolding in reality today. Again, more on that in a minute. So then my wife chimes in. Krystal chimes in and replies to JD Vance's essay that he sent to Zed Jelani. She says, when you insist on spreading neo-Nazi-fueled smears, that's literal, by the way, about immigrants leading to bomb threats, it kind of closes the space for this intellectual discussion about pluses and minuses of immigration that you're now retreating to, dude. She's exactly right. She's exactly right. You can't, okay, the lie that they're spreading about legal Haitian immigrants eating cats, you know where this is from? It's from a neo-Nazi group called Blood Tribe. They are the originators of it. And now far-right freaks have been bending over backwards, desperately trying to find anything they could cling to as evidence that it's happening. And by the way, every single thing they've come up with, total swing and a miss, factually wrong, not true, and we're going to show it and discuss it in a minute. So she comes in and says that. Now, guys, when you know your opponents have a point, when you know you stepped in shit and you're humiliating yourself, that's when you start really going in on the timeline and responding to everybody, right? So get this. J.D. Vance not only replied to Zed Jelani, he also replied to something Matt Iglesias said. There were others. And then now he responds to Krystal. You ready for this? He says, Krystal Ball, I hate neoliberalism. I'm a populist. Also, Krystal Ball, anybody who doesn't think 20,000 cheap laborers should be dropped on a small town in Ohio is a neo-Nazi. No, you fucking asshole. What she's pointing out is the objective fact that the lie you're spreading about Haitians came from Blood Tribe, a Nazi group. That's a fact. You might want to hide that. You might want to bury that because you're spreading Nazi propaganda, but that's a fact. That's where it comes from. That's what she's referring to. So now, after you get called out on your bullshit, you retreat to, bro, who, me? I just want to have, like, high-minded, intellectual, nuanced discussions about whether or not the Nazis have a point. That's all I want to do. Can we be reasonable? Can we, like, look at both sides of the Nazi propaganda that I'm credulously spreading? No, fuck you, because we have the answers on this, and you're wrong. And you're wrong. Now, of course, this got under my skin because she's accusing Krystal here of being a fake populist. He's accusing Krystal of being a fake populist. So, of course, I had to point out his record. Mr. I'm a populist J.D. Vance dodged a question on raising the minimum wage. That just happened. You want to know why he did that? Because him and Trump don't support raising the minimum wage. He didn't support the pro-union PRO-Act as he pretends like he's anti-union. By the way, he also has a 0% score from his 2023 AFL-CIO report card, his union report card. 0% he got. Mr. I'm a populist, I'm for the working man. And he also skipped a vote on extending the child tax credit while he was virtue signaling like he supports extending a child tax credit. This guy is a fucking fraud. He's a fraud. So I went a little over the top and said, take your Ivy League elitist venture capitalist ass back to the 4chan message board, because that's where he belongs, or on Peter Thiel's dick, where he also belongs, because that's his billionaire sugar daddy, Peter Thiel. He beats up on all sorts of politicians for taking big money from different sources, but oh, would you look at that? Silicon Valley billionaire money, that's not in the criticism. Why? Because he's suckling at the teat of the Silicon Valley billionaire, Peter Thiel. So, and as I pointed out to him, this lie you're spreading is literally from a neo-Nazi group. So, let's dive a little deeper into this. J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are out there saying that they're eating the cats, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the pets, they're eating the pets. And J.D. Vance is right out there like the loyal little sycophantic bitch he is, probably knowing that what Trump says is not true, but he's running into the wall at 100 miles an hour, running into the brick wall at 100 miles an hour and fucking up his face and his teeth and all that. So here's the reality of the situation. First, let's go to the Republican governor of Ohio. The Republican governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine. What does he say about this issue of they're eating the pets? They're eating the pets. Here we go.
And here's a question I never thought I would have to ask, but do you see any evidence as governor of the state that Haitian immigrants are eating pets?
No, absolutely not. That's what the mayor said. That's what the chief of police has said. I think it's unfortunate that this came up. Let me tell you what we do know, though. What we know is that the Haitians who are in Springfield are legal. They came to Springfield to work. Ohio is on the move, and Springfield has really made a great resurgence with a lot of companies coming in. These Haitians came in to work for these companies. What the companies tell us is that they are very good workers. They're very happy to have them there. And frankly, that's helped the economy. Now, are there problems connected? Well, sure. When you go from a population of 58,000 and add 15,000 people onto that, you're going to have some challenges and some problems. And we're addressing those. We're working on those every single day. Primary care is essential. The other thing we're working a lot on is driving. We have Haitians who, frankly, many times have not driven before. We need to get more driver's training, and we're working on that. So these are things that we are working on. Springfield is moving forward. I've always felt that, and as the governor of the state of Ohio, we want people who want to come here who are legal, where they come from another state or another country.
So there's the Ohio Republican governor. You also have the mayor of Springfield says this is not true. The police in Springfield say this is not true. And as he points out, wait, you guys are giving the game away. You always say you're against illegal immigrants. These are legal immigrants. They're legal immigrants. And weird, you're still against them. I wonder why. What makes them problematic in the eyes of people like Donald Trump and J.D. Vance? What about them is a little different that they look at and say, no, we don't want them here? Let me think about that one a little longer. I got more for you. So here's the End Wokeness account. By the way, it was exposed recently. This is Jack Posobiec, who's also a massive Trump insider, a key purveyor of fake news. Anytime this guy makes any sort of fact claim, it ends up being totally false and in many instances just flat out made up. So he comes out and says, multiple cats in Houston, Texas, cut up and mutilated in recent weeks. No arrests have been made. This person says, so far, the visual evidence of Springfield Haitians illegally killing and eating animals has amounted to, number one, a non-Haitian mentally ill woman in Canton, Ohio, killing a cat. Not a Haitian person. I believe not even an immigrant. Somebody having a mental health episode doing it. And by the way, that's what kicked off this whole fake moral panic about Haitians eating cats, is a mentally ill person, not Haitian, not an immigrant, who was caught on video basically killing a cat, right? Number two, a non-Haitian man in Columbus legally clearing roadkill. So you remember that picture that's been floating around social media of some black dude carrying geese? He was clearing roadkill. And again, not Haitian. And number three, dead cats in Texas that cops say were killed by coyotes. There's another one. You know that guy, Chris Rufo? He tweeted to his followers, I'll pay you $5,000 if you can prove that the Haitians are eating the cats. I'll pay you $5,000. $5,000. Okay. Hey, idiot. There's a reason why journalists don't do that and can't do that. Because, of course, you're going to get tainted information. You've set up a fucking massive conflict of interest. People just want to get paid. They just want to get the money. And also, he's got a rabid fan base of right-wing freaks who don't care if it's true or not. They just want to spread the narrative that Haitians are eating cats. So what happens? Of course, somebody sends him a fake video. He claims it's somebody eating cats. Yet again, it's not even in Springfield, number one. Number two, it's either a duck or a chicken. It's not even a fucking cat. These people are loathsome. So everything that they've submitted, see? Totally untrue. It doesn't even take a difficult amount of fact-checking to get to the bottom of it. Just like cursory searches can blow up their narrative in a second. But I got more for you. So here's a PBS NewsHour piece on the new immigrants, legal immigrants that have come to Springfield, Ohio. Let's see what they have to say when you actually go there and talk to the people involved. Watch this.
Mirsu says he came to Springfield for the same reason most Haitians did. He heard that housing was cheap and jobs were plentiful.
It started slowly. We had an application pool that was a little bit different.
People coming to work here.
People looking for jobs. What he's welding here again are welded axle components.
Jamie McGregor is the CEO of McGregor Metal, which makes welded parts for the auto and farm industries. Right now, about 10% of his workforce is Haitian, over 30 employees.
I wish I had 30 more. Our Haitian associates come to work every day. They don't have a drug problem. They'll stay at their machine. They'll achieve their numbers. They are here to work. And so in general, that's a stark difference from what we're used to in our community.
McGregor acknowledges the sudden arrival of so many new immigrants is a challenge on multiple fronts, but he believes this is partly how the industrial Midwest can regrow.
We want more jobs in our community. And in order to fill those jobs, some jobs need to be people who are not originally from here.
They also go on to explain in this that they revitalized a local church, a church that virtually nobody was going to. All of a sudden, you have this influx of legal immigrants, and that church is revitalized. You know, the right has their own video that they're pointing to where they say, see, this proves our point. This proves our point. You know what that video is? It was shared by Benny Johnson. Some other right-wing YouTuber made it. They went to Springfield, Ohio. They were talking to a bunch of people, right? And within the first 5 seconds of the video, you have a white person making all the accusations. They're eating cats. They're doing this. They're doing that. They're terrible. They're bad. And he calls the legal Haitian immigrants sand monkeys. And the right is pointing to this video and saying, see, this proves we're right. You're going to take the word of a guy who referred to them as sand monkeys as gospel? Yeah, I'm sure that his dislike of these legal Haitian immigrants is purely from a place of rational, logical analysis. It doesn't sound like he's a vile bigot who can't wait to point his finger at anybody and anything that's slightly different from him to blame them for his own problems. Who are we kidding here, guys? I'm still not done. Springfield was dying before it started the campaign in 2014 to attract immigrants. The budget picture now, quote, for the first time in city history, the assessed tax valuation topped $1 billion for 2023. You're reviving a dead town. And they don't like it because part of the revival is you have some black people who came in, legal Haitian immigrants. They don't like that. They'd rather be a dying town left to the dustbin of history than be revitalized, but part of the revitalization is having black neighbors. Absolutely disgusting, man. Absolutely disgusting. So, by the way, now, I'm giving you the facts here. You know what else has happened since Trump has accused these people of eating cats? And he also said dogs, by the way. He couldn't even get the facts in his fake news story correct. But you know what's happened? Here. Wittenberg University in Springfield, Ohio says someone has threatened to shoot Haitians on campus. All events canceled. Two hospitals in Springfield, Ohio were forced to lock down today due to bomb threats after Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, and other MAGA influencers continued to spread a debunked hoax about migrants eating people's pets. So you have schools and you have hospitals that have had to shut down in a panic and evacuate because the right is spreading lies. Nazi propaganda from a group called Blood Tribe. This is what's had to happen. Guys, I know I say it all the time, but it's true. This is a new low. This is a new low for these people. It doesn't get any lower than this. A lot of the lies they're spreading are right out of the Nazi playbook. Right out of the Nazi playbook. More. What's now being distributed in Springfield, according to a local pastor. Foreigners and Haitians out. There is no place in America for this filth. We don't need more police officers. We need mass deportation. A fourth of Springfield is already in poverty. Now $2 million being used to care for these beasts of the fields. America first, join us and stand against forced immigration. Trinity White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. And oh, would you look at that? There's a number here. There's a phone number here. This is what's going on, guys. But guess what? Guess what? Their propaganda is not subtle. It's not nuanced. It's not fooling anybody. And so they did a poll on this. Ready? Do you believe it is true or false that Haitian immigrants are abducting and eating cats and dogs? 54% of the country says false, and only 26% of the country say it's true. Now, look, to be clear, I think it's a little more than half of the Republican Party says it's true. A little more than half. But in the whole country, it's only a measly 26%. There's a lot to say about this fact, isn't there? In terms of what has become of the Republican Party. But again, the good news is it's only 26% of the country. This 26% are absolutely idiotic beyond comprehension. Mosquito IQ to the max. That's what we're looking at there. But again, it's only 26% after a sustained propaganda campaign trying to get people to buy this bullshit. So there it is, guys. J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, spreading propaganda that originated from a Nazi group called Blood Tribe, not backing down. In fact, they're doubling down, tripling down, and quadrupling down on these lies. And as a direct result of these lies, now you have schools that have to be evacuated, hospitals that have to be evacuated. We are at a point of no return when it comes to this stuff. You have one of the two major parties is just going full Nazi, full fascist. And I say that because it's a fact. You know, people on the right like to cry and whine and bitch and moan about, oh, Democrats calling Republicans fascists or calling them Nazis or calling them like Hitler. Well, you're going to have to stop saying Nazi Hitler-like shit if you want us to stop calling you that. That's a fact. That's where this propaganda came from, and they're spreading it. So, J.D. Vance, save your little fucking, snippy attitude on Twitter trying to dunk on everybody, because the fact of the matter is right now, you're in a losing position, and you're hemorrhaging support by the day, as you should be. So maybe instead of responding to my wife and Zed Jelani and Matt Iglesias, maybe go talk to the big boss man of the campaign and tell him, hey man, maybe we could reel it in a little with the Nazi propaganda. This doesn't appear to be working. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.